Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
The fact that
cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hello, friends. I'm Kent Skelton, and I'm so glad you are here. Together we can battle this struggle and find freedom from it all. Life is continuous, and it would be ridiculous to say that you or I don't experience those seconds, minutes, hours, or days that seem like they'll never end. Time continues on, regardless of how we feel or what we experience. We search, longingly for a way to handle and navigate through these situations we are experiencing. There has to be a way. Surely I can find the solution to get rid of these negative experiences and periods of despair I am feeling. Maybe it's not our own problems, but those of family members or loved ones that are living in pain. These pains may come from alcoholism, addictions, illness, grief, boredom, and in so many other forms. What will we do? Where is that light I'm supposed to be able to see at the end of the tunnel? When will I see it? When will this end? The timing to realize you need help is up to each of us. That's you, that's me. We are each individually accountable for ourselves. We have to make the change, and the timing is now. There's no time like the present to desire and begin that road to recovery. Together, let's reach that freedom from struggle.
Good day, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm sitting here asking, hey, how are you doing? One thing about it, you can't answer that kind of question right there in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. That'd be great to hear from you. And look, we're here today. It's a beautiful day down here in South Mississippi. On the northern Gulf of Mexico, the northern Gulf of America, whichever one you want to consider it. But anyway, look, we are just had a bunch of snow melting. We had 7 inches of snow this past week. An amazing week, threw me off my balance quite a bit. But look, we're here for the Freedom from Struggle at Red's Roundtable. We're here on Military Broadcast Radio, giving veterans a voice. And we're just happy you've tuned in with us. We got our co-host together with us today. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Who are you?
I don't know. I have a disappearing head up here. So
look out.
we both got this green screen thing going on.
Yeah, we've been
now,
playing around with green screens. How you doing, Eva?
I'm all right. We didn't get all the snow that y'all did. I'm still here in North Texas for a minute, maybe a couple more weeks, and
Right.
make that trek across the country again. But it's just been cold here, so I don't know. I'm ready for the spring to get here and warm up.
Right. Hey, well, look, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad it has warmed up just a little bit. I was in Texas a few weeks ago and it got a little snow then while I was there. Then I come up back to Mississippi, and then this past week we got it 7 inches of snow right here in Biloxi,
That's
Mississippi.
crazy.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. But anyway,
Crazy.
we're dried up now. There's a little snow you can see a little bit here and there outside, but all the streets are safe now. Everybody's out and about. And I think we had 58 degrees here today. It's kind of funny how things can be from one day to the next. And even that's the same way we can find it in our lives. Okay.
Yep.
I know that. And you know that. And so many others realize that.
Change. Woo,
Change. Look, my name's Kent. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a Celebrate Recovery leader at First Baptist Church here in Biloxi, Mississippi. And I've just been blessed to be able to help be one of the leaders there. And I decided to, bring it online because I know how much it helps other people. What Celebrate Recovery is a faith-based 12-step recovery program. It was started out in California. I'm not responsible for it. I'm just a participator and help being a leader. But wow, like I said, it's a faith-based step program, much like Alcoholics Anonymous, Al-Anon, Narcotics Anonymous. Many others use 12-step programs also. This right here, I've been through others. I find this to be the best for me because it not only helps with one thing, and I'm celebrating recovery from alcoholism 30 years. I'm in my 30th year
wow.
right now. So things work. Okay. These programs work if you work it. Now, I was blessed to become a part of Celebrate Recovery, and I found, this 12-step program, which I, use for alcoholism. It can work in every single area or aspect of your life. And I'm not talking about your life, Eva, my life, and my neighbor's life over here. I am talking about everyone's life. If you truly look into it, you go to these steps and you pay attention. It doesn't matter what type of hurt, habit, or hang up you have. It really, truly can work. Okay. And that's one thing I like about Celebrate Recovery. I think we titled it today, I titled it The Differences Between the 12-step programs, which they're out there. I've used Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'm not, say anonymous. All these things, Eva, are anonymous. Celebrate Recovery also is based on anonymity. I choose not to use the anonymity because I don't care. I want other people to know, because there's people that know how I was as a drinker and a partier, and change. I'm changed and transformed from that. I'm also in so many other ways since then. I don't smoke anymore. I've even given up tobacco, and
Very
so many
good.
bad ways, and I use it for language. I used it for language. I used it for trying to have a better church life, to be in the Bible, so a better prayer life. Knowing I can't do it on my own, but ask my higher power, God. Asked him, hey, come into my life and help me with this, and start working the steps, and then noticing that problems when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, by doing a daily inventory.
Mm-hmm.
As part of the program also that you find if you work this thing, and it really is amazing. It's a blessing for me. Of course, Eva, it will not work if you don't work it. There's no doubt about that. If you don't,
A garden doesn't grow if you're not working it.
exactly. And we're speaking the same language, different avenues on
Yep.
that, but that's the truth.
Yep.
And what's so bad is a lot of times when you got things going on and you got a little inkling, in your mind or in your heart that what you're doing might be messing up your life. You know what I mean? But there might not be any motivation to stop it or correct it. But tell you what, if you really sit there and ask yourself questions about who is it affecting, Obviously, it's affecting myself. Okay, if I'm,
Right.
but there's so many areas that it can be affecting somebody else. It can be hardening somebody else's heart by seeing you go through this stuff, especially as they might sit there and pray for you and care about you and feel bad because of the situations you're in, but they have no control. They can make suggestions and this,
Yep.
but we individually have to be open to those suggestions. And I mean, it's a matter of being ready to quit something. But I tell you what, it's best for you before you get too far down that hole, because deeper you
And
are,
take ownership, and because there's lots
first get,
of costly mistakes that can come from it.
oh, so often, so often. Even once again, I'm so happy you're here. And we hadn't talked much during the week. We usually, touch base with each other a few times.
Yeah.
And but I had all the snow I was building. Somebody said, "Do you want to build a snowman?" And I jumped out there and started building. Oh, not really, not really. I was sitting in my recliner, staying warm, and
I don't blame you.
reading and thinking about podcasting and military broadcast radio, where it's making veterans, giving veterans a voice. Say, MJ says, "Good afternoon to beautiful beings of light."
I
Hey,
hope
good
you're
afternoon.
feeling better, MJ.
She must be feeling a little better. I see her posting here and there the past several days. I also saw Maverick in there, and boy, we miss that guy. Miss that guy
Ta-
hanging around. I don't know if you've
Terry
actually
gave us
met Maverick.
some.
Matthew, uh, good dude, Terry, there's Terry pops up.
Yep.
And anyway, she's got some of our other hosts and people we know from podcast land. And but anyway, look, 12-step program. Have you which ones have you participated in? Have you gone to any, or are you going to keep your anonymity here, Miss Eva?
No, I have not participated in.
Okay.
I think I'm on the edge of needing to go to participate in Al-Anon. And
Okay.
that's kind of a big pill to swallow that, I need to do that for a variety of reasons, different relationships
Right.
with
Right.
people that I know. So, there's a part of me that has, I'll be honest, part of it, I think in some ways I get it just from my people gardening. I have to have this right, my relationship with God, to have
Right.
better relationships with other people.
Right.
And, part of that is really just what is it? Somebody was messaging me this morning about, confession. And I'm a Catholic and I don't participate in active confession with a priest.
Right.
Don't anybody get mad at me, but I think, and I converted to Catholicism when I was in college, but I'd like to think that I have that relationship with God where I can have that conversation with him and know that, the things that I'm going through, but that there's also that, that he's going to be there, but there's also that point of sometimes just having somebody else to talk to
Right.
is what's going to help keep me balanced going through things because you know, it's difficult to feel like I'm helpless to help somebody else, but then I'm still trying to be the strong one and help guide, but I can't put myself in their shoes either. And that's just tough. I had somebody message me earlier today that their spouse left them at Christmas, and they probably need to go to this person that messaged me needs to go to probably to Al-Anon also, and that's tough to know that your partner has been an alcoholic, and are you the enabler that's been doing stuff? I mean, I have freely bought alcohol, but I here at the house, and I've had to do some things with the alcohol. I've had to remove, and now I'm not drinking. Not, and you have to look at things in a different lens of things, and it's change. It's change. So
Right. Look, hey, we're about quarter after the hour, 15 minutes into the program. We're going to slip off and have a little quick word from our sponsor. We're going to come right back. And even since you brought up a couple things, I'm going to share it. And we'll talk a little bit further right when we come back from our little break. And hey, it's just what's on my mind, what's on my heart. And if one person can use it, whether it's one of us, whether it's somebody out there that happens to see this episode, hey, wonderful, right? Okay, we're here on Military Broadcast Radio. We're giving veterans a voice. Let's have a word from our sponsor. It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandals' 16 all-inclusive, luxury-included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, we can be found on the web at mbrradio.us, but we can also be found MBR Talk on Facebook. There's YouTube, Military Broadcast Radio. We're on almost every social platform I can think of that I know of. There might be a few more out there. Hey, if you find somewhere you can't find us, post it in the comments. Myself, Eva, or our station managers, they'll let us know, and they'll get us on those social media outlets. But anyway,
and hey, Red, there's an app for that too.
Remember, is there an app for that?
We have an app for MBR.
The Military Broadcast Radio app. You can do it on your iPhone or your Android, right? Tell me a little bit more about it.
So all you gotta do is download it from your favorite phone app, your favorite app.
Favorite app.
And go look for Military Broadcast Radio. Download it. There's the talk side, there's the radio side, and I think there's a pretty cool feature coming for the gamers out there.
Yeah.
So my kids are gamers. That'll be exciting. My boys are, but there's an app for that, so you can listen. Whenever there's live shows going on, you can listen to it live directly through the radio.
Okay. That's right. Thanks for bringing that up. I usually do mention that because I also mentioned when we're talking about apps, Celebrate Recovery. You can find that on your iPhone or Android. Also, just search Celebrate Recovery. Comes up as a big app. It's had CR in it, and I believe it's orange. But you download it, you can find out any Celebrate Recovery meeting close to you, regardless around where you're at around the United States. And usually there's going to be one fairly close. They meet all days of the week. You just have to see which one works best for you. But mentioning that, also Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get their app on there. They have an app on my phone for them, and it's titled Meeting Guide. Once you download it and you have it on your phone, I'm not sure exactly what it is on how it reads on there. I think it's Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay. But listen, we were talking about, Eva, we were talking about the like praying and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. and then caring for other people. You talking to someone and you mentioned Al-Anon, and that might be a great way for somebody to to be able to plug into something and see, to find out more, find out how it might help them. And that's why, and I really do, that I harp, and I really just, I really to celebrate recovery. I mean, it's just, Eva, it works for everybody. It's faith based. It's not. It's based on God, and what God can do for us, and for us and through us. And like I said, it can make you completely better person. There's tons of people that I've met that have come in there for grieving, just to find out their identity.
Oh, for
Hey,
sure.
I'm here because I don't know who I am, and it's not, I don't, okay. And I'm just saying, I don't drink, I'm sober. I'm a good person, right? But there's something short, what's my purpose? Hey, what is that?
We're all gonna be sinners though,
Every
Red.
single one of us. And
We're
so
all sinners.
so there
Yeah.
are good, but you cannot do it alone. That's the big thing. Just confiding in a friend, like the phone call you received to find out information. That person's confiding in you, or obviously reaching out to you and letting you know. And how we talk about with military broadcast radio, most of us have never met face to face. Not,
We
where
tried, but the storm interrupted us.
we did try. But what I was getting at is, I had never seen H, I've never, I feel like I know him. I feel like the guy's my brother. I feel like you're my sister. We're kind of close, and, but it's all through the internet. It's all through our podcasts and our shows, maybe a few phone calls here and there. And then there's some people I barely talk to, but I have reached out just to check on them, checking on that person.
Yeah.
Look, it's so important. You never know. Look, that person that seems like they've got it all together and everything's just perfect, and you can't even imagine there could be a problem in their life. They too are. You don't know what they're feeling inside. You don't know what's I guess entrapping them or whatever. And it's worth. You don't have to call and say, "Hey, are you okay? What's wrong?"
Yeah.
Maybe nothing's wrong, but maybe there is a little something. Well, you know what? I've been struggling with this, or I've been struggling. Thanks for asking. I want to say, hey, I'm having a super great day, but it's a good day. I woke up, right? But maybe I invested a little money in something. Maybe I lost $1. Anything. You never know what it is, right?
Right.
And, it could be health. I've been sick several times this week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But I've been to the doctor. They don't really see nothing wrong. I got a couple other checks, but it bothers you a little bit, inside. You're like, man, what's wrong? But look, I can still take it. I don't understand it. I guarantee you there's one thing. I can't fix it by myself.
Right.
And the doctor, even though they practice medicine, they might not even be able to fix me. They might not figure out exactly what it is, or they might diagnose it wrong. You know what I mean? But that's a whole different story. I've been kind of running down a
it's
rabbit
not
hole.
quite though, Red.
Really?
Think
Well,
about
let's go.
it.
Talk to me.
If you're willing to go to the doctor, why would you not be willing to go to God to ask him for help too?
The great
Because you got to
physician.
think about it. He's the doctor for our soul,
The great physician.
right? So why do we think that these emotional things or psychological things are any different than the way we treat ourselves if we've got a broken leg, or
Right.
I had to have my gallbladder taken out a year and a half ago.
Oh,
You
okay.
you still have to go to the doctor for some things like
Yeah,
that. We're
too.
not invincible, and
Right.
I think that that's in some ways where us as veterans, we had that Superman mentality or Wonder Woman mentality that we're invincible and we can get through anything. And sometimes I think it's even something that you brought it up a couple of weeks ago, that we think that we're invincible and we forget to submit and ask for help.
Yeah, and that is yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And even hey, leading to that one other thing that I was a real big thing we had been talking about some things that had come up, and I'd said after the break I was going, and this is from my heart, okay, and
Mhm.
this kind of what I've seen in the Bible, talk about going to mass and stuff like that. Of course, I'm Southern Baptist. I don't have to go to mass. You know what I mean? I need to be at church. I need to be part of the group, part of the church, part of the people.
Mass
And
is the same thing. I
basically,
mean, you're
right, right.
still going to
But I
church.
tell you what, I don't have to go to mass. The only person, I really have to confess to is the Lord Jesus Christ, with my belief, right?
Mhm.
And like you said, you have a relationship with God, and I do too. He's taught us how to pray, right? Through
Right.
Jesus taught us how to pray, and man, I tell you what, if I had to go to mass, if I had to go somewhere to talk to somebody else to help me communicate with God, I'd be lost because I wouldn't know how to get there. I wouldn't ever be able to make it. But
But here's the deal,
yeah,
Red.
go ahead.
I think for some people who maybe don't have that relationship with God,
Right,
and sometimes saying it out loud and getting it off of their chest in that anonymous kind of way,
right.
going to a priest and saying confession can relieve you in a way. And so I think the right word is intercessor, right?
Yeah,
That somebody you're saying it out loud, and yes, there's somebody on the other side of that wall that you're not seeing their face, you're hearing the voice, but you're not keeping it contained within you. That is just going to
bottle up.
bottle up, and at some point you're going to explode, you know
Right,
so I it's different strokes for different folks, right?
no doubt.
But if you have that kind of relationship and you can talk to God, fabulous. But if you don't have anybody and you're needing to do something, doing something anonymous, whether it's, through AA or Celebrate Recovery or going to the priest, somebody, it's going to help, because the last thing you want to do is keep it all contained, and that's not going to be good for anybody.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going, us talking about this is going to just bring it on
Yeah.
up.
Bring it
Hopefully
up.
I don't know if we can see that good enough.
We can.
Can you?
If
Might
you
need to.
can if you can make it a little bit bigger, and then you can scroll it up. There you go. Then
How's
you
that?
can.
Does that look better?
Perfect. Much better.
What about if I even do something like that? Does that even make it better?
Yeah.
Okay, look here, the first step. All right. We admitted we were powerless over our addictions or compulsive behaviors, that our lives have become unmanageable. Romans 7:18 says, I know that nothing good lives in me, that is, in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. Like I said, Romans 7:18. Step two, this is the steps. There's 12 steps. We read principles last week. Step two, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. For it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose. That's Philippians 2:13. Now, thirdly, here's a big step. We know we can't do it ourselves and all that kind of stuff. We do this step right here. We make a decision to turn our lives and our wills over to the care of God. And it says, therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. Romans 12:1. And just to keep on going just a little bit further, I usually don't read, but the first three. Step 4 says we made a searching and fearless, honest inventory of ourselves. This is where I was talking about. I go back and make that daily inventory. You got to constantly have your mind open, have your heart open for problem areas, make sure you're doing things right. And Lamentations 3:40 said, let us examine our ways and test them, and let us return to the Lord. Okay, and then here, what you were just saying, Eva, on step 5,
Mhm.
and we admitted to God, okay, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our hurts, hangups, or habits. James 5:16, it says, therefore confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. And
I think that that's really the whole point of the
yeah,
confession, because if you are not, if you were, I hate using this based upon what the politics have been. If you don't unburden yourself, you're still carrying that big old rock around, and or you're carrying that cross. If you haven't unburdened yourself,
you're
give it to Jesus to carry for you, because that's heavy, and that's and I get it. That's why I'm you know I can only do so much as the person that I am, trying to help the
exactly.
people that I love.
And Eva, you're
Uh,
pretty sharp.
well, thanks. I hope I'm decently smart, but I can't. Even me, I still, for people that I love, I still have to figure out how do I handle finding the right words to help them and not feel like now I'm trying to own these people's problems too.
Right, right.
Because they're their burdens, and I can only control my responses. And that's where I think the point of, uh, Al-Anon, or is there a Celebrate Recovery version of Al-Anon?
Celebrate recovery. And that's what I'm
No,
sitting
no,
here
you see
trying to
what
say.
I'm
A
saying
lot of
is
people, I know, but a lot of people don't understand celebrate recovery is for anyone.
I
It's for any,
understand that.
it
I
is
don't
for anyone. Okay. And if you work these steps, okay, you work the steps and basically individuals. There's step studies that they do. There's listen, and after we do these big group meetings, and the big group meeting might include the testimony, like we heard from Mac last week. Okay, and that was a big
right.
reason
Oh, that
why
was a neat video.
that we really was. But that right there, what has a lot to do with part of the meeting, that testimony and sharing, and you could hear things and like, wow, I'm not the only person going through that, or wow, I can't believe he's been through all that, or she's been through all this or that. But so we have testimony. We also have lessons, okay? Lessons on the 12 steps, and they're broken down over a number of weeks throughout the year.
Mhm.
That we do those. And we also read the principles or the steps. We also have a little time of giving out chips, and we also have a few worship songs. We sing together and get up and just let the Holy Spirit loose, just enjoy ourselves. Fellowship, get in the mood. We do that right in the beginning, and then we break down in small groups. Okay, and they break down in small groups, and it is going to be it's always females on one side, guys on the other. They don't meet together except in the large group. But when you go to small groups, depending on the number of people you have, you go to different rooms where different issues. It might be one room's all it's folks who have alcohol problems or addiction problems. You might have another room where people just have self-confidence problems, grief. They're experiencing grief. They have a loved one that might drink, where they could probably fall into either one, where they would see what somebody else is experiencing, right? But that's how that works. Okay, that's where if you could be a maybe maybe you'd had some kind of sexual trauma earlier in your life. And hey, maybe you're a drug addict, maybe you're an alcoholic, and you go to this thing and you go to your group, and then you come to find out as you're talking, hearing other people, you're like, and then as you're doing really working the steps and going back and finding there's a root to most problems, right?
Yeah.
I
So
say,
that
I say,
reminds
I
me
say a
that
root to most problems. There's a point in there where you start to turn and you start to do different things, whether it's when you start becoming a teenager and you're doing stuff on your own, just making your own decisions, making bad ones because of your peers and stuff like that. Or it could be some type of trauma that happened, something that really bothered. Could be, I don't know, could have been a bad dream,
so
right?
that reminds me of my book, Welcome My People Garden, though.
Right.
It's based upon the parable of the sower.
Right.
So all of the worldly stuff is the thorns, and that's all the stuff that grows up above ground, all of the chaos of the world that gets in the way. But you're talking about, you start discovering that you have some other kind of traumas. Well, that's the rocks that are buried underneath the ground.
Right.
And so when you start uncovering, wow, there's a rock, that's a trauma. There's this rock is heavier than that one was.
Right.
And after a while, that basket full of rocks gets so heavy, and you can't just keep carrying those things
No.
around. It's a lot, and you've got to be able to give it to God.
Right, right. And that's why
Yeah.
that's why it's so important. Like I said, so many people don't know the steps and the principles, but when they really sit there and get in there and they start looking at it, like, wow, maybe they start seeing people, because one of the steps, the eighth step, as a matter of fact, I'm not gonna put it back up on the screen, but it said we made a list of all the persons, get this, that we had harmed or done wrong, and become willing to make amends to them all. Okay.
Yeah.
And willing, not having to do it, not going
No,
on,
you know
not
how
going up
I
to,
tell
hey,
it
Eva.
in my
Yeah.
book.
Oh,
I
man.
you write a letter.
So,
You
and
write a letter and you burn it.
you can do that too. And it might be
Yeah.
it might be a situation where you could really approach somebody.
You could
It might be because you ignored somebody. Oh, I realized I've ignored. I didn't realize, our friendship got parted, and you were my best friend. We were tight, and then all of a
Right.
sudden, I got busy, and I'm
Or
sorry.
maybe you've been a victim of something and you don't want to approach the person that did something to you. And
Hey,
I've done that before. I wrote a letter, and that was one of the many letters that I burned.
right, and that's a great way to do it too. I mean, if
Yep.
that's, like I said, it's that you make amends to them all, and the other steps in there, unless it would cause harm to you or the others, right?
Right.
And so you can discern whether something's gonna really, really, really hurt somebody real bad or stuff like that. But and that's goes right back to that holding up and bottling stuff up
Right.
inside. Well, dang, man, I'm gonna sit here and hold this guilt and play like I don't feel guilty,
But,
Eva. I'm
but
gonna
the
be
other,
like,
but Red, those people that have hurt you, you can't change them.
no,
You can't.
no,
All we can do
it's
is
forgive,
forgive and find
forgive.
some kind of peace through that, and
Exactly.
not
And that
not
might
hold
be
on to it anymore.
that might be me confiding in you.
Yeah.
Look, I know I did this, and okay, now I got it off my chest. Everything. Wow, I can breathe again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then go back and keep working those steps. Just keep doing everything over and over. Make sure you don't fall short. Making sure you're doing what you're doing. Keeping that inventory going. Make sure you're staying sober. Making sure you're not slipping back off that path. That straight and narrow path is what I call. Hey, Eva, let's take another break here from our sponsor, and it's going to be a quick song also from one of our artists.
Okay.
If you don't mind. So they're trying to decide which one to play. We're gonna go with
We
this
have
one.
plenty
Right?
in
60 years went rolling by. It was here we said goodbye. The war was brewing, it was extreme. We were only teens. I knew the day I died, all alone, my brand new bride. Our favorite song would be a sign I'd be back in time. So raise a flag with pride and grace. I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, both sides say I'm a soldier of the USA. You weren't alone all these years. Seen you cry, I know your tears. raised our child and a family, all without me. You've done well with your life, lots of friends by your side. I heard a nightly secret prayer, I was always there. So raise our flag with pride and grace, I seen the pain on a soldier's face. Bring me home, both sides say, I'm a soldier of the USA. Now it's time, my lovely wife, to bring you home. Say goodnight. Close your eyes to our favorite song. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? One day we'll come back in time for those we leave behind, but for now we'll watch them grow. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Military Broadcast Radio. Woohoo! Giving veterans a voice. Even we're part of it.
We are indeed.
We are part of it. Hey, how many shows, just real quick, just to toot our horn about Military Broadcast Radio, how many shows did I hear we had? Is it like 33 shows? I mean, active live shows.
Count.
I think there's 33 active shows that Military Broadcast Radio is doing. And then plus we have the DJs that are playing the music and things like that.
Yeah.
Over on the side. And there's tons of veterans and maybe family members of veterans right now on the agenda, on the calendar, have appointments with orientations to possibly get them a time to also have a show. And I just think, when you think about it, it almost gives you chill bumps. You know what I mean? Just like, whoa, getting your feels and giving veterans a voice. And what a deal. What a great thing, you know?
Yeah. Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
So, we did a first last Saturday night. So Mark Jensen and I, he's DJ Clado.
DJ Clado.
We had MBR Talk meets MBR Radio, and we did a Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Desert Storm music montage of lots of great, songs from the time, and we danced, I danced.
Go ahead.
I rocked away. I enjoyed it. It was a good, I think, playlist. Got some great feedback. Had Terry on. We had quite a few other people on, that were out there on Twitch. I have a Twitch account now. All this technology, it's kind of interesting. Getting onto these new platforms.
Really? Hey, I'm sneaking in on my 6th decade, and all of a sudden I'm, to have a little podcast thing going on these different social media channels that I don't really even know how to operate. Okay. But we're learning. Look, that's another thing though, that this is opening up a whole new world for us,
right.
When we might have been sitting around doing nothing, especially people that might be suffering from disabilities where they can't, really can't function and do hardly anything at all. I saw DJ Clado said it was a blast.
It was a blast. And hey,
blast from the past.
If y'all, right around the corner, I think he said on February 8th is his anniversary with his wife. So I think they're doing a show together, and I don't know. It sounds like it's going to be some neat songs that they have
Right.
that they're going to be playing that are their special, couple songs. So that'll be kind of neat. I don't have that guy, so
Right. Right.
I don't know what that's like. It's been
Hey,
too long.
hey, Eve, I want to throw in here real quick and celebrate recovery. When we go into we talked about kind of what goes on in the big
Yeah.
meeting, and then how the guys break down and the girls break down the opposite sides, can I do that?
Yeah.
Opposite side of the
You
rooms.
want me to do a
Yeah, let's hear a little sound. Yeah, you go. Hey, so
There we
I
go.
and but the girls one side, guys the other. And and then like I said, there might be multiple girls classes and guys classes, depending on the number of people that are there, and maybe even the number of things that people are experiencing. Some people might need a special, it's all similar what they're doing. Maybe it's a sexual trauma thing, and it'd be best if those 5 or 6 people, 3 or 4 or 5, 6, however many people it is, that they met together and talked, instead of hanging out with the people that maybe were addicts or alcoholism. But it's still everything. It doesn't matter. You keep it in perspective. We all have our own problems. We all have our own issues. And that's what it pertains to. When we start those small group sessions, even I'm just saying this just in case anybody,
It's important to know what to expect, right?
exactly. And that's kind of what I'm wanting to throw in there, because it's the same. It's made up with the rules and the bylaws and all that kind of stuff, that they're basically the same wherever you go. Okay. Now, if you go to one and doesn't seem right, or you didn't like it, don't give up on it. Try another one. Okay. But so many of them, yes, no
That's in
surprises.
there or something.
Excuse me.
Is it maybe sometimes the people or the vibe that's in
Well, it
there?
could be the vibe. It could be, it could be that they just, maybe they slipped off and think they're doing something, not, I ain't gonna say it's bad, right?
No, I
but
think for me, probably part of my resistance in going for group sessions, because I not a was it when I was active duty, there were group therapy sessions.
right,
And I wasn't that, because it was physical therapy,
right,
but it was group physical therapy, and there's sometimes you realize you would rather have an individual thing versus
right,
that group, because you can
right,
sense I tend to be an empath, and I can feel people's energy in a group setting like that.
right,
So those kinds of that's probably been my resistance to
right.
going to one of these,
And okay, and then as you say that, also I'll say, there's some rules that start right off the bat,
Okay.
and one of those things is a little guidelines for the meeting. For one thing, you're in a faith-based 12-step program, so there's really no room for cursing or anything like that,
See,
right?
cursing doesn't bother me. I'm a
So I know,
veteran.
but listen, celebrate recovery.
No, I get
Hey,
it.
it's faith-based,
Right.
and it's just not a place for it. Okay. But here's the huge thing is me or anybody else in this room, nobody's, and somebody might be a doctor. Okay. But as far as us being in this gathering, there's nobody here that can heal you, and we're not
Right.
here to heal you. And there's no doctors that you can treat or counselors that are using their business within this area. We're all talking about our individual problems. We're working the steps as individuals with peers, with other people that are here, shoulders to lean on, ears to hear, and
Mhm.
prayer warriors to pray for you. And but anyway, so you have that, and then there's no crosstalk. If we're talking, if I'm talking, they might give me 1 minute to speak, right? Might go around the room, give everybody a minute, depending on the number of people. Might be 2 minutes, might be 3 minutes, okay? And you might have a minute and a half, 2 minutes for one round, and then they do it again with another question, or just, hey, what's on your heart today? How are you feeling? And then they, hey, well, man, I'm really sad today. Da 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 da. And I had this going on this week, this, that, and the other. And it's not my wife has problems with she don't do this or she don't do that or she makes me mad. That's not what it's about, right? It's not a place time to blame others. And it's a time to, what you're experiencing, what's hurting you, not what somebody else is, not about somebody else. Okay. It's not about somebody else's problem. And then the same thing. And when I said no crosstalk and stuff like that, when somebody's got the floor, they got the floor till it goes ding, 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 and your time's up. Then they move to the next person. And then there's no well, Kent, I was thinking if you had this problem, or I had that too. Ava, I'm doing the same thing. No, that's not what it's about. There's no piggybacking on each other. It's stuff from the heart, what's really bothering us. Now, if you want to talk about it outside after you leave the meeting, that's fine. You can do that. Now, also, when you talked about having that one-on-one, it doesn't matter if you're in AA, Al-Anon, any of these different groups, okay? Celebrate Recovery. It's best to get an accountability partner, okay? Get a sponsor.
Right.
Get a sponsor. Get somebody that's been there a little while. They know what's going on. And it could be somebody that you have seen in there and you relate to. Maybe they have a similar problem, or let's say they fought a similar problem and are celebrating recovery from it or gotten over it, and knowing that they can help. But that's a huge thing. And also to be in there long enough where you get to that point where you also can be a sponsor for somebody else to help somebody else. That doesn't mean you're going to be able to heal them. You know what I mean? You might be able to sign court orders.
But it's not the sponsor's job to heal somebody.
It's not the sponsor's job. The sponsor's just sponsor's truthfully, like I said, an accountability person.
So for us as all veterans, it's a lot like when we move and we've got a sponsor at the next duty station to help you, walk you through, here's how you do this.
Walk you through the steps of
Right. So I probably sounds like it's kind of accountability, but really kind of helping show you the road.
Showing you the way.
This worked for me. And here's the step, here's this book, here's, these things to help you, because at the end of the day, it's still about your choices and you in getting through whatever these issues are that are causing you this pain.
Right. That's very similar. That's a great relation to it. And that sponsor also, that sponsor might also be that person. You're taking those first 3 steps. Okay. You realize it's unmanageable. You realize you can't do it by yourself. And then you're offer your body as living sacrifice to the Lord, holy and pleasing to Him.
It's all a choice.
And that is huge. That is so important. And I think that could really change people for the better right there. There. But let's start looking. Let's delve into this a little further. As our sponsor, I believe we need to really start working on step 4. And step 4 is a whole different ball game. When you start step 4, this is where you make a searching and fearless, honest inventory of ourselves. Okay,
that can be scary.
Woo! You don't do that overnight, even.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And you might do that 10 times for one problem, Yep. Because you can't. That's why I say continue to step. It's not, I got to do 1, 2, 3, and then I do 4. Okay, now I'm on 5, and I ain't got to look at the others. It's constantly.
It's not a one and done.
It's a flowing process.
Yep.
Like
I look at it.
I'm ready to go to Hawaii. I'm ready to go to Hawaii.
Book, all right, you're missing your hula, you're missing the skirt. But what I was thinking of, the farmer doesn't put the plow out there and he's done plowing once and sowed the seeds once and poof, he's got a forever garden out there. He's got to got to take care of the weeds.
That's what I was saying. The weeds are going to be coming up. You better be ready.
But you got to, there's the harvest, and then there's the next season. He's got to get the plow back out there again. And let's not forget, throughout the whole season, you want to make sure you have some rain. Rain to me is always God's loving on us, right?
Hey,
So
when you don't have all that thunder and lightning and the temperature is not freezing cold and stuff, I love being outside
yep,
and just feel the rain hitting you.
yeah, that's God loving on us.
Woo, that's nice. It
Yeah.
really is. But throw a little thunder and lightning in with it, and heavy winds, where it's burning when it hits you. I can do without that. But no, that's basically. But that's even this is a lot of what I wanted to share. Kind of
How
go
long
through
does
what
a meeting last?
How long does a meeting last?
Yeah.
Celebrate Recovery. Usually your big group meeting is going to last about an hour. You go to your small groups. Your small groups, depending on the number, it might be, you might go around a room, might be 15, 20 minutes. And, if you had a big group, it could last a little longer. But sometimes like a small group might last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just because everybody's really, into it and talk. You might have 18, 19 people, and you go around a room one time and nobody really wants to say nothing, but sometimes that's good. That moments of silence.
Oh, right.
Because there might be, instead of going around in line, it might just simply be, you go in there. Okay, we had a topic. Our topic was on hope, and we talked about hope. And you go into the small group area. Your leader says, where do you find the hope? Where can you think of somewhere where just that little matter of hope has seen you through, right? And then everybody might be like, wow, no. Might just sit there and kind of meditate on that. What's the Lord done for you this week?
What has the Lord
done? Wow. Okay, let me.
I thought you were like asking me.
Okay, well, yeah, sure. But what are you grateful for? So I was just examples of things that might go on in a meeting, and you might have 18, 20 people in there. What are you grateful for? And everybody's just like, wow, I can't even count all the things,
Yeah.
And that might be it. You kind of sit around like nobody hardly says anything, but then a few people might say something. A lot of people just pass because you never have to say anything if you don't want to. I pass, I might just say, hey, I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ, and I'm happy to be here tonight. Good to see everybody. My name's Kent, and I'll pass.
But does that end up being like a cop out if you're not saying something?
No.
I mean, I'm asking that because somebody is probably going to think, man.
If you do it, if you never say anything, you'd almost want to, hey, I hope, just hope,
why are you here
as a
then?
leader. No, not necessarily why are you here, but I try to, I think some people might not even. I think for me, and especially being a leader with the group, I'm going to introduce myself. I gotta go bump fists or bump elbows or something, break some ice.
Right.
And a lot of times also in these things, there's icebreaker questions, hey, are you, here's a question. Give you a sheet of paper. Okay. Hey, look at a sheet of paper and mark down how you feel right now, and where it's got happy, this, that, sad, depressed, anxious, hundreds of things where you can put on there.
Oh, for sure.
It's almost like, oh my goodness, well, they made this easy,
Right.
And anyway, so that being that, hey, look, that our hour is up. It's 58 minutes past showtime, and we're gonna close out real quick. I do want to go through this. Like I try to do those several things every time. I want to make sure that I share this
prayer, right?
Yeah, I want to share the serenity prayer, and I believe I've got it right here on another. I know I got it. I know I got it. I was just looking at it. Go ahead.
Now that I got this green skin back here, I feel like, man, I got some smooth skin now. Just
good.
I look like I feel like I look very young right now.
I feel like I had a makeover.
I feel good.
Amazing.
Sorry, just had to say that.
Amazing to have the makeover just with my new
green screen.
My new green screen, my green piece
that
of film.
That isn't working over here.
Hey, listen, let's close in prayer, everybody. And we're thankful for you being here. Look out for Freedoms from Struggle on Red's Roundtable. That's Red's Roundtable on YouTube. I would love for you to subscribe to me. I'm trying to post other little programs during the week. They might last 2 minutes, might be 8, 9, 10 minutes. It just all depends on what the subject is and what seems right. But I would really, really, really love for you to join me. Red's Roundtable. That's Red's Roundtable. I should have posted the thing in the comments so you could join. Maybe next week I'll do that. But let's close out right now. I wish you the best of the week, and come back to see us next Saturday. Here's the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. And that's, I don't know, that the very first part of that serenity prayer really has gotten me through so many times, just like knowing certain Bible chapters, Psalms 23, and some of those, favorite verses that you might have grown up learning, or
it could be as simple as the Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's Prayer. Oh my goodness.
Yep. Our Father who art in heaven.
It
could be as simple as saying that when you're having that moment. You talked about, even quitting smoking. I quit smoking in 2010. Can you imagine? I was a smoker, a pack a day. I can't believe it.
I can't even imagine that.
I was a smoker, a pack a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I learned this week that another one of my friends used to smoke. I was like, man, I just cannot see that. You know what I mean? You seem so grown up. We seem so grown up and mature, Well, that's what I used to say when I'd go buy tobacco. I'd get my Copenhagen at the store, and they got to where, in the past several years, what's your birthday? And I'm like, do I really need to tell you my birthday? You can't just guess something, And so I sit there and I'm like,
or they want to scan your card,
right?
Scan
I
your
said, it's September 12th, 1964. It seems like I'd be old enough to know better than to buy this stuff, but I still want it. Just give it to me, But anyway, look, everybody, y'all have a great week. We'll be back with you. Got Eva Fulton here, my co-host on the Freedom from Struggle at Red's Roundtable. We'll see you next week, sports fans.
Bye.
Got to press the right button to get out of here, Eva. It's kind of like we're behind closed doors and locked in. See y'all later. Thanks for being here.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans